Hello my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that I've been given the pleasure to welcome you onto my channel, I'm Vanessa Samina and welcome to the fam. So as you guys know, I put out weekly predictions each weekend in order to prepare you for your upcoming week. So today's video is another weekly prediction just because I like to make sure that all of you are best prepared for your upcoming week and just to allow you to have, consistent advice that will be here each weekend to guide you for the next steps in your life. So in order for you to figure out what's going on in your life next week, I have prepared 4 groups that you can choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. So just go with whatever group resonates the most with you. Go with whatever group that you feel like your gut feeling is drawing you to. And as usual, the timestamps will be down below in the description box. So you can click the timestamps that corresponds to your reading or readings and fast forward to them. And yes, you guys, I just want to put it out there once again that you can feel drawn to multiple groups. So if you feel like you cannot make up your mind or you feel like you need a little bit more guidance for the upcoming week because, life is just crazy and life happens. And sometimes you need a little more advice. Sometimes you need a little more insight on what's truly going on. So if that is indeed the case for you, then feel free to tune into multiple readings. There's absolutely no shame in that because your personal reading may be a mixture between multiple groups. So you guys, I got 2 more things that I would like to bring up before I head into the readings. The first thing is the fact that yes, my pronunciation is not always perfect. It's far from it. I speak multiple languages, so sometimes I butcher words, sometimes I butcher names, so bear with me. I'm learning each and every day. I'm doing my best to pronounce everything as well as possible, but I make mistakes, okay? So I know that my English is not always perfect, and that is just the sad reality, unicorn fam. And a lot of you guys have noticed that I've been wearing this crystal jewelry, and you guys, this jewelry is actually from my own line that I will be dropping very soon, and you will all be the first to find out about it. But right now, I'm just focused on making sure that you guys get amazing quality, amazing value, and products that you are going to love. Because I know that some YouTubers sell merch where there is basically another company that does everything for them. They produce the merch and they send it out, but as a creator you don't really have control over the quality as well as making sure that it arrives the way it should, presentation, etc. And those are all things that are really important to me, and those are all things that I'm determined to avoid by setting everything up really carefully and not just going with the quick version, which is also fine. I'm not judging you, but I just have a certain standard for myself as well as you guys, and I want to make sure that I provide and deliver at all times. So yeah, you guys, that was it for the intro. Let me know if you like when I bring certain things up, when I discuss things that have been in the comment section. I can, like in each intro, answer a few questions, some of them more fun, some of them more serious, just so you guys can also get to know me a little bit without having to sit through like an entire Q&A video, if you know what I mean. So this way you have the choice whether you just fast forward to your reading, and that's completely fine, or you want to sit here and have a little chat with me and just, relax a little longer. So let me know, you guys, but for now, I'm going to get straight into the readings, and I'm going to be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the orange calcite. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the orange calcite. So group number 1, you may have chosen the stone for its physical appearance. I mean, it is a really, really gorgeous stone, and it just has this super energized, beautiful yellow color to it. So as I said, that may be a reason why you did end up choosing this mineral, but this mineral is also said to help sort of integrate things from the spiritual realm as well as the physical realm, your physical body. Make sure that that is in alignment. It also allows you to channel more creativity as well as energize you and cleanse your root and sacral chakras. So those may all be different reasons why you vibed with this stone, why you ended up choosing it, but let's move further into your reading to figure out exactly what is going on in your life in the upcoming week. Okay, so group number 1, within your reading we have receive, we have the 6 of Pentacles, we have strength, we have the 2 of Cups, we have the King of Wands, we have the 6 of Swords, we have the Star, we have support, the hematite, as well as the cerussite. So I'm going to move straight into your reading about your upcoming week. So one thing that I see in your upcoming week is that you need to sort of let your ego fall away and allow yourself to ask for help. Allow yourself to ask for support. Make sure that you don't feel embarrassed to ask for support from the people who are closest to you, because you have those people here for a reason. Human beings, we need a support system. We need that sort of family environment, you know, people who have been lonely for years and decades, who really have absolutely nobody, often are not very healthy mentally as well as physically. You know, it's natural for us to have a family, to live in a family environment, and to thrive off socializing and just social connections. So allow yourself to receive. Don't always feel like you have to be the one who takes care of others, because that is one thing that I feel really lies in strength when it comes to you. I feel true strength shows itself by you sort of putting your ego aside, putting the fact that you don't want to be a burden aside, and allowing yourself to receive help, allowing yourself to be the one who actually can go out and say, hey, could you assist me a little bit in this? Do you think you could make time for X, Y, and Z just in order to help me? And I definitely want you to know that the universe wants you to be open to that. The universe wants you to be open to receiving goodness, and that, you know, abundance and gifts, allowing those to enter your life, has everything to do with, first and foremost, being okay with people helping you sometimes. And don't be embarrassed about it. Know that that is what will open a new door, a new segue into more abundance in the earthly realms. And that is one thing that I see in the Six of Pentacles for you, group number one. So in the Six of Pentacles, I see that next week is a week where you can not only, you know, receive help and emotional support, but also in the earthly realms when it comes to extra time, money, as well as making sure that you're boosting up your health. I see immense sort of opportunity for easy flow and things to just work out wonderfully. So allow that to happen. I know it sounds really weird telling you to allow something good to happen, but sometimes we stand in our own way. But know that next week, what you can rely on is a certain connection in your life, a certain relationship. I see love here, and it doesn't have to be romantic love. This can be platonic love. This can be love that you have for somebody who is always there, who is always in your corner, always supporting you, and, you know, allowing you to receive goodness, allowing you to receive help without making you feel bad. So start there. Start with somebody where you know that you're in a safe spot, and don't feel like I said, like you have to do everything by yourself. True strength is compassion, and compassion is not only something that you can show through other people. Compassion is something that you have to have for yourself if you want to lead a healthy life where you're mentally in a state where you're efficient. And in the hematite, I want to talk to you about your mental abilities as well as just your mental state in general. So group number one, it's so essential for you to not feel like you're an island, like you're alone in this world. It's so essential for you to keep in mind that the people who are closest to you, the connections that you have, you are allowed to make use of those. Those don't need to just be connections that are only there for you to either serve them or for things to always be completely equal in each and every moment. I mean, these connections and relationships are a give and take. You know, when somebody is going through something tough, you're there for them. But at the same time, if you're going through a tough time, allow them to be there for you. Know that mental strength does not mean that you have to stem everything by yourself. So in the King of Wands, I definitely see, you know, responsibility. I see somebody here who knows what they want, somebody here who has a lot of passion and drive, but at the same time, it can sometimes become too much. So look into traveling also. That is one thing that I see in the Sarasite. One thing that the universe would like to communicate with you, that maybe just sort of a change of scenery, getting away from where you usually spend the most of your time, would be very helpful and would allow you to see things in a very different light. As in the Six of Swords, what I see for you next week, group number 1, is this feeling of maybe almost being a little late to the party. You may have really great ideas. That's one thing that I see in the King of Wands, creativity. But you sort of feel like you're always late to the party. You feel like you have a cool idea, then you Google it and you figure out 10 million people have already done it. So obviously this is just an example. You may encounter this sort of feeling in other parts of your life and other sort of situations is what I'm trying to say. But through traveling and through expanding your horizon and not always being in the same place and dealing with the same situations, you can open your mind to how you can tweak an idea just a little bit to all of a sudden make it something completely different and something completely unique. So I definitely see regaining hope next week, especially if you actually do make time to travel or at least pre-plan some traveling. And that is what the star tells me. The star tells me that, you know, nothing is lost. I see that you will come to a realization that you can't stem everything by yourself all the time, that it's completely okay to ask for help. And also I feel like you will start to work on this feeling of being late to the party, this feeling of not being in complete control over whether your stuff is going to be successful or not. And I want you to know that success obviously is subjective, but say if you want to start your own business and you sort of feel a little bit scared, you sort of feel like, okay, maybe the ship has sailed, maybe it's too late for me, maybe this is not the right way to go about it. But one thing that I see that comes from you is, as mentioned in the King of Wands, a lot of creativity as well as passion, and that energy is something that not everybody is willing to put into their business. But as long as you are, so obviously the business is just an example, it could be something else, it could be a hobby, it could be something completely different, your relationships. But as I said, not everybody has the same drive and passion and determination that you have, so make use of it and know that what you need is consistency. Consistency is key. That will lead you to success, as well as knowing when it's okay for you to lean on somebody else, not having to do everything completely by yourself, because that will just slowly destruct. That will slowly chew away at your mental state. And the universe has sent the hematite into your reading for a reason, and also the orange calcite, you know, connecting your spiritual realm as well as your physical body is something that you need to focus on, and is something that you need to get in alignment in order to ensure that your mental health stays where it needs to be or operates at an even higher and more pure level than it is operating at right now. Group number 1, that is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you found it inspirational, maybe even a little motivational, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Aragonite. So group number 2, first and foremost, I mean, it would be completely clear why you've chosen this stone if it's just for its physicalities. I mean, it is such a gorgeous stone, and it's just one that you may have felt naturally drawn to because of that. But another thing that the Aragonite is said to help with, help combat anger, as well as give you more strength and support. So if you feel like that is something that you may have been lacking recently, that may be another reason why you ended up choosing this mineral in particular. And this stone is also said to help with emotional stress. So if you've been going through a lot of emotional stress, group number 2, this is the right stone for you. But let us move further into your reading to figure out exactly what is going on for you within your life next week. Okay, so group number 2, within your reading, we have magic, we have the 3 of Cups, we have the Magician, we have the 9 of Pentacles, we have the 2 of Pentacles, we have the 8 of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, the Healer, the Aquamarine, as well as the Cinnabar. So what I instinctively notice is the fact that you have so many pentacles within your reading. So we have the 9 of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles, as well as the 2 of Pentacles. So in the higher numbers of the pentacles, one thing that I definitely see is that you're coming close to the completion of a project next week. So you might make a lot bigger jumps when it comes to completing a project for your studies, completing a project at work, or just getting closer to that next promotion and that next little step to abundance in the earthly realms. But keep in mind that the earthly realms does not only need to mean finances and money. The earthly realms is also your health, is also your time, is any belongings that you have. So you may be coming closer to something that you've desired in the earthly realms, or having more time, better health. The balancing act of that is something that I see you doing in a very graceful way, is something that I see you being able to handle, being able to cope with, even though, you know, sometimes it can be difficult. But if it was easy, then everybody would be doing exactly what you're doing. One thing that can help you get through your next week is just believing in miracles and allowing yourself to believe that magic surrounds you. So whether there is actually proof that magic surrounds you or not, that is a debate. That is something that people argue over. But at the end of the day, I personally feel like it doesn't matter whether you can prove that there's been magic done or that this coincidence has a deeper meaning. At the end of the day, you create magic in your life. If you see everything as serendipity, if you see everything as a gift, as something positive, everything that brings you closer to your goals and makes you more happy and more fulfilled, then obviously you will see your life as a magical thing. So at the end of the day, whether somebody can confirm that it's magic or not, does it really matter if it's having a positive impact on your life? In my opinion, it doesn't. The same thing goes for when I get questions about confliction between using spiritual readings, methods, and being religious. And in my opinion, I always like to tell you guys, why pick? Why pick and choose? If you're getting a lot of strength and a lot of motivation out of spirituality, and also getting a lot of encouragement out of your religion, why not use both to co-create? Why not use both to lift yourself up and just create positivity? As long as you're not harming anybody, and as long as you're making the most and the best out of your life and you're comfortable, why not? You know, don't let anybody stop you from making use of everything that is out there that you are able to benefit from. So have the courage to speak up. That is one thing that I see in the aquamarine. So the aquamarine is a stone that tries to sort of avoid heated arguments and conflict. It is connected to the throat chakra, and it allows you to have the courage to very calmly communicate what is important to you and what you are willing to put up with and what you're not willing to put up with. So as I mentioned, you may be in conflict with religion or spirituality or just other things in your life where you feel like there's friction, especially when it has to do with the public image or how you sort of tell the people who are closest to you why you're doing this, how you're dealing with it. Sometimes it can be hard for people to accept, but you have to keep in mind that they will come around, and what is really essential is to focus on your words. In the Page of Swords, I see that it is so important for you to make sure that you give everything sort of like this light feeling. So in the Three of Cups, keep things lighthearted, keep things fun, keep things in a way where people can laugh, where you can make jokes, because that is how you get somebody to feel a little more comfortable with you and what you're going through, what you're doing in life, and where you're headed, you know what I mean? So keep that in mind, and in the Magician, use all of the tricks in the box in order to explain to the people closest to you where you're going, why you're doing this, and in order to make sure that you can just stick to what has the best possible outcome for you. You know, this is your life and you know what is best for you. But next week, I definitely want you to focus on the earthly realms, especially on business. That is what the Cinnabar is here for. So make sure that you balance your business as well as your health. You know, don't completely neglect your health. Make time to work out, even if it's just 10 minutes. It's already 10 minutes more than if you would not have worked out. Make sure that you focus on refining your skills. That is one thing that I see in the Eight of Pentacles. Working on your skills, making sure that you're constantly learning. If you feel like you're sort of in a rut, or if you feel like you're in a situation where you're not an expert, where you don't know as much as you would like to, learn a new word, a new definition each day. pick up a book, listen to an audiobook, maybe a podcast while you're on your way going to places, just in order to freshen up your mind or learn completely new things in a very easy and effortless way. Because one thing about learning is that it takes discipline, it takes time, it takes you wanting to learn and getting out of your comfort zone, and just making that process as easy as possible will make things so much more comfortable for you and make things so much more relaxing. So in the healer, know that you have healing gifts and you can use those on yourself as well, not just other people, and just have faith in your abilities. One thing that I see is that you're naturally a healer, you're naturally somebody who can help other people, who can make other people feel at home and comfortable. So make use of those gifts. Don't allow them to sort of have this pile of dust on top of them, if you know what I mean. Don't forget about that side of you that is nurturing, that is caring, and that can provide value for other people. So I like to do that by sharing these readings with the world, allowing you to feel supported as well as motivated, maybe inspired, and you have a gift as well. You have a healing gift. So make use of it and share it with the world in whichever way you do it. You may choose to do it on social media. You may also just choose to do it as a one-on-one in-person kind of thing, through blog posts, through writing, whichever way that you choose to give back and to add value to other people's lives. Make sure that you continue doing so, or start doing so if you haven't already. So group number 2, that is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found it insightful, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Smoky Quartz group number 3. So first and foremost, you may have obviously chosen the stone due to its physical appearance. I mean, it is a beautiful, gorgeous mineral. And I just feel like as soon as you hear quartz, you know, okay, this is a healing stone. This is a stone that can soothe. This is a stone that has positivity at its core. And that is exactly why you may have chosen this stone subconsciously. I mean, you may have also known this, but the Smoky Quartz allows you to clear negativity, and it is also said to help with depression as well as soothing any of those feelings of anxiety that come with depression. So those are a few of the reasons why you may have chosen this mineral, but let's move further into your reading to figure out exactly what is going on in your life next week. Okay, so group number 3, within your reading, we have partnership, we have the 7 of Pentacles, we have the Page of Pentacles, we have the High Priestess, the Devil, we have the 9 of Wands, the Ace of Swords, possibility, the lepidolite, as well as the rutilated quartz. So I'm gonna get straight into your reading. What I instinctively see that you need to be focusing on next week is definitely resting. I definitely feel like your ideas and your flow state may be a little bit tired and may be in need of a little emotional revamp. So allow yourself to have time to rest in order to cultivate new sort of cool ideas and to be able to communicate them. And that is one thing that I see in the Ace of Swords. I see the potential here for you next week to find a new way to communicate things, to find a new way to sort of show the world what you're made of and show the world what you're capable of. But it can be really tempting to fall into this endless cycle of self-doubt as well as fear. And that is one thing that I see in the Devil, and that is, you know, a situation that you can overcome, but it's really hard and it's going to take you wanting to overcome it. So if you feel sort of comfortable where you're at right now and you're not willing to go through discomfort in order to change things, then obviously the Devil in form of self-doubt as well as fear is something that will prevail and is something that will stop you from accomplishing certain things. So obviously that doesn't mean that you cannot have a fulfilled life if you don't overcome fears, but I'm just saying if you want more for yourself, if you're not happy where you're at right now and you're trying to achieve more, you're trying to make use of the possibilities in your life, of everything, the potential that you've been given, everything that is here for you to accomplish, then obviously you need to make sure that you slay that Devil. You need to make sure that you get rid of it and that you don't allow it to come in between you and the things that you truly desire. So in the High Priestess, I see energy here that can be calm, that can be nurturing, and that can be decisive. So I want you to make use of that to truly focus on how you can overcome fears and anxieties. And I know that it's really weird because you need a break. That is something that I see in the Nine of Wands. It's inevitable for you to take a little bit of time to rest, but at the same time, you know, you also need to start this new chapter in the Devil where you let these fears and the self-doubt behind. So I feel like maybe you've been distracting yourself from the core issue here. Maybe you've sort of been so busy with work, or you've been so focused on being busy instead of actually being productive and actually making sure that you're focusing on what is hindering you from those next steps. So you've been so busy on what is going on right now that you've been sort of procrastinating or purposely not wanting to face things that make you uncomfortable. But by keeping busy, you can tell yourself, oh, well, you know, I've been so busy, so I haven't even had time to deal with it. And this is a typical procrastination. You know, we all do it. I'm also guilty of it. But look it in the eye next week and see that there is so much possibility, endless potential here for you to actually get to the next step, for you to actually just move on and not allow yourself to become stagnant. So in the Page of Pentacles, it is clear that whatever direction that you move in, it's going to be completely new to you. You're not going to know what you're doing, so it's going to be even more fear and even more anxiety. Okay, I'm not going to lie, group number 3, but you have to trust. And that is one thing that the lepidolite stands for. It is for trust, for you sort of trusting in yourself, your abilities, as well as trusting that things will turn out for the better. So make sure that you make your home sort of like a sacral space. The rutilated quartz is connected to the root chakra, as well as stands for, you know, your home base, where it is that you feel the most comfortable. So make yourself sort of like a little space in your home that is sacred, where you go to recharge and where you go to reaffirm to yourself that you're strong, you're capable. So dedicate a space where you can comfortably sit down, where you can journal, write things down, and also just meditate. Get yourself to that headspace where you can allow yourself to just go on autopilot, to just do what you know you need to do, instead of letting fear, the devil, this temptation to not let things just flourish take over. So know that once you allow things to happen, once you just do what you know that needs to be done in order for you to be successful, things will start growing automatically. And I don't want you to focus so much on, for instance, money, on finances. I want you to focus more on what you put out there. I want you to focus more on the quality and just the value that you provide this world. And that is one thing that I truly believe in. I truly believe that do what you're passionate about, what you're good at, provide value to this world, to other people, and money and everything else that you want will follow. So collaborate with people if you need to. I see that teamwork can give you sort of not only a better result, but maybe also the push that you need. So if you, for instance, want to set up a blog and you're not quite sure how, or you want to start any other business, any other venture that you don't know much about, actually go out there and search for an expert and make that down payment on a service, okay? It will give you that pressure, and that will give you a deadline to keep up with, which will give you the pressure that you need to start doing things, to start getting out of your comfort zone, and to make sure that next week you make the most out of it, that you not only rest, but you also make sure that you are not self-sabotaging your next steps, and that you're making use of any possibility that comes your way. So group number 3, that is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you found it motivational, maybe inspirational, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amethyst. So group number 4, first and foremost, I mean, obviously you may have chosen this mineral in particular because it is gorgeous, because, I mean, who doesn't love a good amethyst? Let's be real. But you may have also chosen this stone subconsciously or maybe consciously for its healing abilities. So the amethyst is known to help with mood swings. It's known to help sort of alleviate stress and bring a soothing energy to any situation that makes you feel anxious. And another thing that the amethyst is said to do is to enhance your psychic abilities. So this gorgeous purple colored stone definitely connects very deeply to the psychic and spiritual realm, and that may be why you've chosen it. But let's move further into your reading, group number 4, to figure out exactly what is happening in your life next week. Okay, so group number 4, within your reading, we have action, we have the chariot, we have the 10 of cups, we have the empress, the seraphonite, the apophyllite, we have the 4 of swords, we have the 3 of swords, we have the queen of wands, as well as prosperity. So group number 4, one thing that I see for you next week is that you're going to have a week that is emotionally fulfilling. So maybe you're going to spend time with the people you love, those who are closest to you, and it's just going to be a good time overall. That is what I see, like a time of celebration, a time of being able to just enjoy each other's company, as well as feeling very much at home. So in correlation to the apophyllite, there is definitely a lot of connecting going on. There's definitely a lot going on, you know, just from human to human, where you feel like you can relate, where you feel like you truly have this sort of sacred connection that only people can share who know each other, who have been through stuff together, and who respect each other. Moving further into your reading, one thing that I see here in the 4 of swords as well as the 3 of swords is that there are things that are really going to worry you next week, but they haven't actually transpired into reality, but it feels almost real. So you know when you're really afraid of a certain outcome. So for instance, if you look at your parents, if you look at somebody closest to you, maybe your pet, and you're like, oh my God, like something may happen to you one day. You may go before I go. I'm going to maybe have to deal, for instance, with your death. So this is something really personal that I'm now sharing with you guys. That is something that I struggle with. Maybe you struggle with a different scenario, but what I'm trying to say is this is a scenario that is in your head that has not transpired into reality, that you have no control over. But in the 3 of swords, you still feel heartbroken about it. You still feel a way about it that makes you sad, that makes you worried, that keeps you up at night, and that just you sort of also a little bit exhausted emotionally, that is eating away at you. Just this fear of what if, this fear of, oh my God, I'm gonna have to face this eventually, or maybe one day. So obviously, as I mentioned, your fears may be completely different, but I don't want you to allow these fears to eat away at you, because I know what it feels like. I know how hard it can be, and just how stressing over something that hasn't even transpired into reality is just an obstacle. It's just slowing you down. It's just keeping you from enjoying the moment and being mindful. So if you can avoid that, if you can just put your thoughts in a different direction, you know, just steer them in a direction, as we have here in the chariot, that you need to be in the driver's seat. You need to be steering the things in your life in the direction that you know is best. That is what you need to do here mentally, because this is just a situation that is stress for no reason. So have this sort of drive of the chariot, have this drive of allowing yourself to say, hey, I need to stop this. I need to push my thoughts in the right direction so that they don't haunt me, so that they don't put obstacles in the way that I don't need. Because let's be real, life is already hard AF as is. So in the Empress, it is a fertile time next week. It is also a time where I see that love is something that could come to you. Love is something that could reignite if you're already in a committed relationship, or as I said, you know, it may be a good time for conception, or just thinking of taking that next step, thinking of taking that next step of responsibility, of a family, of adding an extra person to your very close circle. So moving further into your reading, group number 4, one thing that I see in your upcoming week is that it's a perfect time to take action. So maybe it's a perfect time to take action when it comes to conceiving, as I mentioned, or to just stopping yourself from mentally destructing. And I really, really don't want you to do that, okay? It's really not a cute situation. and it's just wasting your time. So take action now, take inspired action towards your dreams, towards the things that you desire, and know that you can move forward with confidence. And that is why I am here as well. That is why I make these weekly readings. I want you to feel prepared. I want you to know that you are beautiful, you are deserving, and you deserve to move forward with confidence. And do not allow anybody to tell you otherwise. And be honest with yourself. If you're going through something where you feel like you're not as nice to yourself, or you're not sort of using your full potential, ask yourself why that is. Do you not feel the self-love right now so much, or do you kind of feel like you actually don't deserve to have everything that you want? You know, be very honest with yourself, be very straightforward, because only then can you work on these things. Only then can you steer your life as well as your mental state into a different direction, because a negative mindset will never have a positive life as an outcome, and thinking badly of yourself will never result in anything positive. So keep that in mind, and know that in the Queen of Wands, you don't have to aggressively do this. You don't have to sort of beat yourself down about what has been in the past or make yourself feel bad. The Queen of Wands is a card that shows that you can do things in a very gentle, caring, and loving way. You can execute ideas that way. You can come up with new ways to better yourself as well as your life, and new ways to deal with anything that you're struggling with mentally. So obviously, you know, those could be fears, those could also be other mental conditions, like for instance, body dysmorphia, it could be depression, it could be an eating disorder, whatever it is that you're dealing with. Know that you can be creative and nurturing and kind about it. So if you, for instance, listen to a certain song each and every time when you start to feel anxious, and it pumps you up, it makes you feel good, and makes you feel ready, then see that as a creative way to say like, wow, okay, as soon as I get angry, anxious, depressed, I listen to this song and it instantly sort of moves me away from that. It instantly steers me in the right direction. So as I said in the Chariot, you have to steer yourself in a good direction, and in the Queen of Wands, do it in a very creative way. So obviously that was just an example. Your creative way of steering yourself into where you need to go to next week could be, for instance, a mantra that you could do. As I said, it could be a song that you listen to. It could be a certain way that you style your hair, a certain way that you dress, that you know will give you confidence. So use all of these little ways how you can make things better, how you can strengthen your self-confidence, and don't think to yourself, oh, you know, it's just something so little, I'm sure it won't have an impact. All of these little changes that you make, all of these little ways how you help yourself mentally to overcome any anguish will add up, and they will lead to a space of prosperity. They will lead to a space where, you know, things increase, where you're able to have an increased amount of love, an increased amount of financial stability, an increased amount of time, because you're not worrying about the little stuff. You're not sweating the small stuff. You know that that is a topic of the past, and you're able to be more mindful. So don't make yourself wait for a very long time to get to that stage. As you know, a lot of people who are older and wiser have come to that point where they just want to live in the moment. They just want to enjoy the moment, and they don't sweat the small stuff. So don't make yourself wait another decade or decades till you get to that point. Start to cultivate that sort of feeling now. Start to cultivate that behavior now. Don't wait till you think, wow, okay, I don't have a lot of time left potentially, so I need to be more mindful. You don't need to be at a point in your life where you feel like death is close, where you feel like half of your life is gone. You can start living that way now. So last but not least, in prosperity, next week, group number 4, I see that a gift of money could be on its way. You may find money somewhere on the floor, or in an old jacket pocket, in a bag. Either way, there will be income that you did not expect, and I feel like you have to manage your finances with love to attract more prosperity. So when you think money is bad, or when you're afraid of looking at your bank account, when you're afraid of dealing with money, the universe can feel that. You know, the money can feel that. The flow of abundance feels like, oh, this person is insecure and scared, doesn't like dealing. So obviously your flow to abundance won't be as easy. But when you start to love money, when you start to learn to manage your finances confidently, that is when you're able to truly attract more prosperity. And you know where you stand. You know, the truth of the matter is that we all need to take care of our finances in this day and age. Money is just a part of life. So the better you're able to handle it, the more you'll be able to focus on other things, and the more you'll be able to chill out about it, because you know it's handled, you know there won't be any surprises, and things are in your control. So group number 4, that is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found it motivational, inspirational, insightful, and I will see you in my next reading.